Welcome to the Boogaloo Jones Show, and this is what I'm mad at. Now, before we get started, y'all hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and leave your comments in the comment section. Now that's out the way, this is what I'm mad at. Well, fam, today we're going to be talking about Puffy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Mr. Take That. And I'm finna pull the curtain back and just lay out the evidence why I think Diddy's a snake and he's an evil individual. Now, I'm not telling y'all to agree with me. Y'all come up with y'all own opinion. But I'm gonna lay the evidence out and y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Now let's take a trip back in time to the 1996 Soul Train Music Awards.
I'm one of the head dudes in the whole clan. I started the same gang with my man D. Ferg, Mike Cott, Rick Dawg, Tone Rock, Tabadoo. You understand? We started that up. We started the Bear Mountain picnics and all that stuff. Guys having fun, taking money from the streets, putting it back into the community. So now, I'm ready to give all what I have up. I'm good. You understand? Because this was my dude at the time. So I said, yo, man, just take care of my family. I got this. I'm not taking no ass whipping from no 15, no 20 guys. No, I'm not doing that. You understand? It don't make no sense, especially when I got Nene and Nay on me. Not at all. So now, Puff behind me, and next thing you know, he dips to the left. And I see him jump down into the embankment and just start running. So Sugar is coming up. They're about 40, 50 feet, a little bit long. I guess they ain't see him because, I'm a big dude. So I just played the wall and they walked by me. They ain't know where I was. And if they did, they ain't say nothing. Because Pac was getting an award at this time. I think he was the best rapper of the year or something like that for Soul Train or something. You understand? So now, I let them walk on by. Puff is running. Now I see Puff go across the parking lot because I'm not jumping down in the back in the truck. I see him run across the parking lot. So as he runs across the parking lot, I just walk straight. I see him getting in the limousine. So me and my man Bond gets in the limousine because Big and them had left him. You know what I'm saying? Their team had left him. So he gets in the limousine with me and Puff. Puff was on the phone asking, yo, what happened? This, that, and that. What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? We was quiet. We go back to the mansion, the house he had rented. So Puff, me and Bond goes through the house, make sure wasn't nobody there. Puff's still in the car. He comes out and say, you good, bro? So he goes up and he starts going up the steps. Now I gets on the phone with Chaz Williams, who's over Black Hand. So I'm explaining the whole situation to Chaz about, what just happened at Soul Train. And Chaz says, yeah. I said, yo, man, I told this nigga Puff, I got these dudes. And he took off running. And Puff was way upstairs, and I didn't even think he heard me. Puff said, yo, Gene, who you talking to? I said, Chaz, why? He said, why you telling my ring? I ain't run. You should have just told him I took a left. I said,
yeah, took a left. What Pac said though, I see them, they run. But let's get back into this.
You took a left? He said, I started laughing. Chad said, what'd he say? I said, yo, Chad, he said, I should have told you just took a left. And then Chad started laughing and everything like that. So then that's when Puff came down the stairs. And Puff's like, yo, Gene, I got like 120.
Hold on, let me stop it right here. Because first of all, let me give a shout out to Gene Deal. Because I've been watching him for years. And one thing I can say about this man, his story ain't never changed. Now, this was the original documentary that supposed to came out. But Puffy paid so much money so it couldn't come out. So, do you really think this man is lying? But let's get back into this. Because the next thing he says, Puffy said, is what I want y'all to hear.
7 employees. All these people depend on me for their livelihood. He said, if those white folks even think or knew that I had anything to do with any kind of gunplay, they're not gonna fuck with me. They're not gonna spend no money with me. I'm about making money, taking care of people, and having people take care of their families. And I said, you're right. I got you. You understand? He said, but I'm tired of living like this. And as he was going back up the steps, he said, but I'm tired of living my life like this. I'm tired of living my life like this. And he said this shit verbatim. He said, I don't give a fuck if Pac gotta die. I don't give a fuck if Big gotta die. He said, I don't give a fuck if Suge Knight gotta go to jail. I'm tired of living my life like this, and something gotta change.
Now, fam, either Diddy psychic or he knows something we don't know. Now, okay, I understand Tupac, you hated him. Understand Suge Knight, you hated him. But Biggie, this someone that you claim that you love and you wishing death on this kid? Like, really? But this ain't what we hear about. We always get suckers like this next clip I'm gonna play talking crazy about Pop.
I'm gonna tell you what I hate, and people always want to ask me why I said it 20 years later. People always say why I said it 20 years later. I said it when the fucking shit was going on. And Biggie wouldn't have fucking died if that nigga hadn't lied. He lied. Y'all niggas worship him.
No, let's keep it 100. Your man's lying. Cause I don't know if y'all seen the first video I did on this. The man Gene already said Puffy had a meet with Jimmy Henchman. He knew what was gonna happen to Tupac at the studio in 1994. He didn't know he was gonna get shot, but he knew them folks was there to rob him. So who really lied? And let's speak of this. Y'all don't hold Diddy accountable for nothing to do, and this is what makes me mad. People like this. This man is not here to defend himself anymore, and it seems like everybody talks so bad about this man. I can't stand bullies. I hate people who does stuff like this. Y'all don't hold Diddy accountable for nothing. Angie Martinez got a Tupac interview we'll never get to see, because Diddy said that she put it out. She will never be able to work in New York again, on the radio and that. Tell them my Puffy owned all Biggie publishing, and Biggie was gonna leave. But we gonna get into that later, because y'all always got y'all side. Let's hear from my boy Pac. Let's see what his side of the story and what he had to say about it. That was Pac's point of view. But they always saying Pac started everything. Pac was there. Paul Matterflex said Pac was there to get robbed, and he reached for his gun and he got shot. That's what he was supposed to do. He ain't supposed to let nobody take that from him. The hell is wrong with y'all people? But let's really see how the East Coast, West Coast war started.
When Suge Knight got on stage and he made the comments about people dancing in the videos, he was actually talking about Jermaine Dupri, not him. Is that true?
Suge Knight ain't tell Puff no shit like that, and Puff ain't believe no shit like that, because right after Suge Knight made that statement, what did Puff do? He got on stage, because if a brick hit you, say ouch. He got on stage and spoke on it. You know, another executive come up here speaking on that. I love Dr. J. I love what they doing. I get Death Row. They props in the whole 9 yards. If he thought he was talking about Jermaine Dupri, why the fuck would he spin and say something right then and there? Why would he say something? He knew it was about him. That's why he got on stage and said what he said, bro. Didn't he say that right after what Suge Knight said? He got at the Source Awards and said what he said with Faith up there.
Yeah, you're right, man. That's a good point, man. After Suge Knight did say what he said on stage, Puffy, he did get on stage and he did address it, so
it was all bullshit. Oh, see, everything get changed years later. Everybody wanna write their exit or write their entrance the way they wanna write it and not tell the truth. Tell the truth so these young kids can understand, so these young kids cannot make the same mistakes that you made. But they're not gonna do that, because everybody wanna be bigger than what they are.
So you have some people that say that Tupac, he was the one behind the beef between Death Row and Bad Boy. And you got some people that say that, you know, the beef between Death Row and Bad Boy started when Big J got killed. But from your point of view, when did the tension and beef start between Death Row and Bad Boy?
All the tension started between Puff and Suge Knight. You understand? All the tension came from Puff and Suge Knight. Suge wanted Puff to have Big them do a show. Puff wanted to get paid for Big doing the show. But Suge had did a whole lot of shit, free shit for Puff at one time. Because when Puff used to come out to California, before he could afford security, before he could afford that, Suge used to look out for the cat. You understand what I'm saying? So now it became they bullshit. Then when Suge brought Mase out there, you understand? When Suge brought Mase out there and talk about what the East Coast won't take care of, the West Coast will, then Jake, Jake being killed by Jason.
If y'all don't know who Big J is, that is Suge Knight's best friend that got killed down here in Atlanta.
You understand? And they making that bullshit up like Bad Boy had something to do with it. All that shit was over women. And niggas being emotional like women. That's what it was all about. It was over women. Jake disrespecting Jason girl. You understand, wife? Suge disrespecting Misa. Puff's baby mama. And them niggas being emotional like women. A lot of niggas is behind bars based on their emotions. And them niggas is right where they at because of their emotions. People have lost their lives over the way a nigga felt. So, that's what the East Coast, West Coast shit started off. Over some big nigga shit. Tupac fuck with East Coast and West Coast niggas. How you gonna have Nice and Smooth out there with him and they from the fucking East Coast? You understand what I'm saying? He fucked with niggas from the East Coast, West Coast, down south, the whole 9 yards. Pac had some shit with him, yeah. But all them niggas had shit with them. All them niggas behind scenes talk shit.
Now, fam, you see that? That's what they say the East Coast, West Coast started over some damn women. But Puffy could have ended this beef. Let's get into that. Puffy decided not to go to the meeting that they set up. They tried to set up a meeting to squash this beef, and Puffy was in his field. He the one decided not to go.
Puffy, he actually had the opportunity to put an end to the Tupac and Biggie beef, right? But he turned down the offer.
Suge was in New York City with Eric B, Big D, Chad, Zip, and some more people. All of them was at the Mirage. You understand? And the reason why we know they was there with them, because Haitian Jack called Puff on the line and told Puff that, all those cats was out there partying with Suge Knight. They was there to set up the Death Row East Coast. And you doing New York Death Row East Coast, how you gonna say that New York niggas is lame or whatever? So, when they had that meeting, they called Puff for a representative. Like, you want somebody to represent you? We're gonna try to squash this shit and get this shit, just about making money or whatever like that. And Puff wouldn't give nobody the okay. He wouldn't give Zip the okay, Chaz or nobody the okay to represent him in one of those meetings. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it.
So Diddy, you could have squashed the entire beef, but you was in your feelings and you decided not to do it. So instead of squashing the beef, this is what you got.
First off, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim. West side, when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas fuck for life.
So Puffy, instead of squashing the beef, you got put in the hardest diss song of all damn time. Cause you was in your damn feelings. Shout out to my boy Tupac, Machiavelli. This the hardest diss song of all time. But y'all still rocking with Puff, right? Y'all still rocking with Diddy. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what Diddy tried to do to Tupac Fiance.
They was given producer of the year. Puff didn't want to leave because he thought he was going to be the producer of the year. And he took one of the pictures, after we had drunk on one, he took one of the pictures, I think it was the picture of ginger ale or something like that. And he poured it in the water pitcher or something like that. And then he went up under the table and he urinated in the pitcher, right? With the ice and stuff in it still. He urinated in the pitcher. And Quincy Jones' daughter, I think it's Kadada Jones or whatever like that, she came to the table. And she was just talking to Puff, everything like that. She was talking to Puff. And then next thing you know, she reached over to grab a pitcher and poured her a glass of ginger pea. You know what I mean? So like that. And she was about to drink it and Wolf stopped her.
So Diddy, you gonna let Tupac Fiance, which was Quincy Jones' daughter, drink your piss? Really? But y'all still rocking with Diddy, right? Okay. Let's get into some more stuff. Tupac told Biggie not to sign with Puffy. But y'all blame Tupac for everything.
Is it true that Tupac wanted Biggie to be a part of Thug Life?
I think when they first started initially, and Pac was letting him sleep on his couch, Pac and him was bringing him out to the show. Why wouldn't he be? Big was a lyrical genius. Big, when I spoke with him, he had told me that he didn't know why Pac was bugging on him. You know what I'm saying? Because Pac knew Big ain't had nothing to do with that quad studio. And he know Big was no king of New York or none of that shit. You understand? There was plenty of people that Pac had in his ear that, you know, clarified that and Pac understood that. You feel me? So now, I believe that, and I know from what Big was telling me that he knew Pac and Puff hated each other. So now, Big may have said some things up to Pac, to Puff about Pac. You understand what I'm saying? And that put more of a battery in Puff back about Pac. And Pac mad at Big, and he mad the fact that Big went on and signed and was with Puff like that. But you gotta realize this. Nobody was offering Big nothing. Nobody was giving him nothing. You understand? Big was, you know, Puff's artist. Pac told Big not to fuck with him and that Big was gonna rob him. But Big told me, this verbatim, I can't be mad at Puffy at the time. He said, I can't be mad at Puff because he showed me how to get money. So the same formula that Puff used on Big, Big used on his own artists. That's how they was doing it. So I believe that because of Pac and Big relationship and Big and Puff relationship and them two hating each other and Big is in the middle, you understand? It's causing a lot of confusion and a lot of fucked up situations. Whereas that until Big get off from under Puff's situation and Puff's umbrella, him and Pac could never be friends again. And I think Big was working towards that. Because I think he was working towards being friends with Pac again.
Right. So Tupac warned Biggie not to sign with Bad Boy and that.
Now see, just imagine if Tupac and Biggie would have got back together. You think Jay Z will be where he at? You think Diddy will be where he at? No, they both had to die. Because I don't know if you know, Biggie wised up on Diddy. Diddy owned all his publishing. Ask him what happened to the Commission album. Biggie had got his own record deal, 60 million. He was taking the Commission, Junior Mafia, and Lil' Kim on there. He wised up on Diddy and put all his royalties in his daughter's name. And she's still collecting them to this day. That's probably why he ain't gonna put out the Commission album. Because his daughter gonna get the money. But let's see what else Gene had to say.
He told me Puff was gonna rob me, Puff was shifting. But Big also said that his management team at that time didn't know what the fuck they was doing.
So after Tupac was killed, Biggie and Puffy, they was in LA, and Puffy, he did the Steve Harvey show with Snoop. And it seems like they was trying to do some kind of peace treaty to stop the whole East Coast, West Coast beef. What was the deal with that, man?
Well, I don't know who our dealer was, but I know for a fact, ain't no way at that point in time.
Hold on, let me pause it right there too, cause Snoop, yeah, I got a video coming for you too. You a real snake, homie. Well, let's see what else Big Gene talking about.
Say there's gonna be a truce between West Coast. He was having problems with Suge himself. You understand? Puff couldn't say it was gonna be no peace treaty. You understand, with Bad Boy, because a lot of that issue shit was because of what Big did to those guys in the dog pound.
I don't know if y'all know what he's talking about, but when this stuff was going on, Big got on the radio and got the dog pound trailer shot up in New York. But let's keep going.
Big in the dog pound wasn't doing it because Big is the one who sent that message over the radio. And you know, Snoop got on Angie Martinez and said he heard it for himself. But Snoop wasn't even that. If the dog pound, you know, the guys who was in that Winnebago ain't trying to do no treaty, how Bad Boy, Puff, and Snoop Death Row gonna come out there and say we're gonna do a treaty? How they gonna speak for those guys? So I think it was more so Puff trying to clear himself with the dog pound them cats and let them know that Big might be my artist and everything like that, but I ain't had nothing to do with that shit. Cause he knew he was gonna have to do something with what he had left over, which was Black Rob, Mase, G Dep, and the rest of Sherry Dennis, Total. The rest of the artists he had on thing, Carl Thomas, Faith. He knew that he still was gonna have to travel and be around, and he didn't want no other beefs with no other labels or no other crews. Especially things that he felt like he didn't make.
He threw Biggie up under the bus, but he so-called loved the man. Yeah, okay. Y'all still rocking with Diddy though. You know who else is not rocking with Diddy? Biggie Mall.
We get out, Puff pull out first. We pull out behind him. He blow past the light. We stopped at the light. When we stopped at the light, I see some chicks on the curb. Before you know it, a car just rolled up, start popping in the car. Just pop, 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 pop. Everybody got down in the truck. So that shit stopped. You know, we all hopped out. Everybody door open but Big door.
Something gotta change. I don't give a if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Clearly, a Biggie Smalls verse is very valuable. So then what happened to the commission? What happened to that album?
Oh, yep. What did I just say? Nah, I didn't even know she was going to say that. What happened to the commission album? I told y'all. These folks ain't lying on Biggie.
The murder
on Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
Hip-hop legend Notorious B.I.G. has been written off as one of those unsolvable cases because of the controversies tied to it. His mother, Violate Wallace, has now come out with some shocking secrets about what actually went down. Now, the woman has openly come out to accuse music mogul Diddy of not just lying about how the rapper passed away, but also having something to do with it. Could this be the missing piece that finally puts the case to rest? And how exactly did Diddy's name come into the mix? Let's find out together. On the 20th anniversary of her son's death, Violate Wallace, who is known as the matriarch of the hip-hop industry, has made a significant statement. In an interview with the Daily Mail, she expressed her ongoing pain and grief over the loss of her son. The famous Biggie Smalls Violate revealed that she still feels the hurt of never seeing her son again and that it's difficult for her to accept that his killer has not yet been brought to justice. Her statement was filled with emotion as she shared her feelings on the matter. I have a very good idea who murdered Christopher, and I genuinely believe that the LAPD know exactly who did too. They've done their investigation, but they just refuse to move forward. I don't know why they haven't arrested who was involved. It seems to me that it's one giant conspiracy, and someone is definitely being protected somewhere down the line. There's no closure for me until that murderer is behind bars and sentenced. A lot of fans who still have hope about the case also showed their support for Miss Wallace, saying, I hope Miss Wallace builds the strength to reopen the case and get the justice she deserves. Besides the star's mother, his wife Faith Evans also made some claims of her own.
Well, we know he was murdered, but we believe that the LAPD knows who's responsible.
Although these assertions may not hold up in a court of law, Gene Deal has also shared comparable insights regarding the case at hand. He has claimed that it was his fraternity brother who facilitated his meeting with Miss Wallace.
Crying, she said, they keep telling me Gene Deal, Gene Deal. Who is Gene Deal? And my frat brother like, Miss Wallace, that's my frat brother. I'll call him right now.
Furthermore, Gene Deal stated that Miss Wallace inquired with Puffy about him, but Puffy quickly denied any knowledge of him.
She said she had been looking for me because the police had told her, ask Gene Deal. And she asked Puffy who Gene Deal was, and Puffy said, I don't know no.
Now, why in the hell would Diddy say something like that? You love Biggie, but you gonna lie to his mom about his death, and then you say you don't know Big Gene? When we see you in pictures with him, we know he was your security. But let's keep going. Y'all still rocking with Diddy?
For president of Bad Boy Records, Kurt Buros has also put more gasoline in this already brewing fire. He revealed that Biggie was actually slated to travel to London for a journalist meet and greet.
Leave that early morning, go to London, and we would be out there for 2 or 3 days, and then he would go back to New York and go home.
But the rapper ultimately pulled the plug on the plan, stating he wanted to spend the night in LA, a night that became his ultimate demise.
Sean, P. Diddy, whatever his name was during that time, called late Friday night. Go. You represent it. You go. He's not going. He wants to stay here. And
now, that's was damn lie. Puffy made that boy stay and told them Big ain't going nowhere. If y'all try to book him, y'all gonna get fired. But we gonna get in that on the next video I do on Diddy. But Diddy's a snake, man, a real life snake.
Many fans who were shocked about the cancellation of the London show even took to social media to show their displeasure. I still have my London ticket for 1997. I remember being shocked that the concert was canceled and that he was going to LA instead. Talking about the facts on the table, another fan said, so let me get this right. Puff said B.I.G. wasn't going to London after all the money Clive Davis spent on him there. Also went there a week earlier. Then Puff kept him there where he lost his life. Wells, that's not all. Following Tupac's death, Puffy had allegedly premeditated Biggie's murder and showed no remorse for it.
Something gotta change. I don't give a if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail.
It's almost like fans were actively waiting for these details to get out, as many of them immediately took to social media to give their views. He for sure put a hit on Pac and Biggie. Their deaths were way too similar, and Diddy knew he could take over Biggie's record label. Diddy is a joke, but the situation was made worse by the fact that Biggie's mother was left in the dark by the authorities, who only told her to ask Gene Deal if she wanted to know what had happened that night. When she reached out to Bad Boy for information about Gene, Puffy denied knowing him, seemingly going against their previous agreement.
Me and Puff had said a long time ago that if anything ever go down, don't tell nobody my name in the whole.
However, Puffy was following the rules, as he provided Gene's name to all the law enforcement agencies involved in the case.
If you gonna tell the LAPD my name, if you gonna tell the FBI, you gonna tell any law enforcement people my name, you understand? You might as well tell Big Mama my name.
But as you can imagine, our favorite record CEO did not tell Biggie's mother, and here's why.
He knew that I was gonna tell Ms. Wallace all what happened, because he know I exchanged.
Additionally, Gene became suspicious of Diddy's role in Biggie's death when he pushed Diddy's arms away from him. Despite Diddy's outward display of grief over Biggie's passing, Gene felt that something was off. He described his final interaction with Diddy in the following way.
Is when he grabbed both of my arms. Gene, we gotta pray. We gotta pray. And I pushed that nigga arms off me and I said, yo, pray for what? That nigga.
This encounter strongly suggests that Diddy had a guilty conscience. But that's not all. Despite not having any further meetings with Diddy, Gene willingly shared the details of Biggie's final moments and the things that he found suspicious. According to the former Bad Boy member, Biggie did not want to attend the vibe party, but Puffy convinced him to do so.
It seemed like Big wasn't gonna go to the vibe party. But every day, man, you going to the vibe party? We gonna do that. We gotta go there, man. We gotta go to the vibe party. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go there.
At the time, Gene was already aware that if someone had planned to attack Biggie, the vibe party would have been the most opportune place to do so. Gene also disclosed that Diddy had made arrangements in advance to avoid riding with the juicy rapper in order to remain in a safer area. I told your driver Kenny to run the next 3 lights. Kenny ran the light. B.I.G. stopped at the light. B.I.G. got killed. While running the red light may be considered not very suspicious, on the other hand, putting the SUV in park tells you everything.
If you waiting at the light, you don't put the car in park. Especially after your friends them have blew the light. Everybody know it's follow the leader. Shouldn't have to tell any grown-ass man that's driving that if I run the light, you run the light. We all run the light.
However, even if the driver had stopped at the red light, why did he put the car in park?
Exactly. Why would you put Biggie car in park if y'all ran the light? Yeah, that was a setup. Yeah, Diddy. We ain't rocking with you, but let's keep going.
Well, according to Gene, Diddy's reach goes far beyond just gang members, as reports have also revealed that the record label executive has influence with the NYPD as well.
So they showed me a picture of the Muslim guy, and his face was blurred out in front of my lawyer.
While Gene revealed that he's identified the crooked officers that might have been in bed with Diddy, he claims the force never got back to him after he identified them.
I said, that's the guy right there who walked up to the car. They said they was going to straighten out the face of the picture, come back out to New York. I never heard from them again.
This exact claim was backed by the FBI agent, Phil Carson, as well. So far, fans seem to be on the same page with Gene and his version of the events that took place that night. Puffy did it, no doubt. Why did he leave Collie literally the day after it happened and ditch the rest of his crew? Why did he ride separately when he always used to ride with Big? Why was it so important for Gene to ride with Puffy? You either get in or you'll never work for Bad Boy again. Why was the car already parked on the side of the road waiting for Biggie to pull up? And why was it so damn important to be in Collie in the first place, 6 months after Pac's death, with barely any security? Puff got some explaining to do, but the story doesn't end there. Gene wrote a book to reveal everything that had occurred that night and how Diddy was involved. He even secured a publishing contract for the book.
My book was supposed to be going in, all of a sudden, after giving me a contract for $75,000, cutting me a check for $25,000, we got down to the last week.
Puffy contacted the same publishing house to write and publish his own book in an attempt to prevent Gene's book from being released.
See, then that's what Diddy do. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but his ex-wife, Kim Porter, was finna write a book, a tell-it-all book, before she died, and she ended up dead mysteriously. Come on, man. But let's keep going. See what they talking about.
Despite this effort, Gene's book was ultimately published.
And a deal for $1 million that he put out his book, and he never put it out.
According to Biggie's mother, right from the beginning, she's had a bad feeling about her son's involvement with the record exec. That's only where it begins, as her book Biggie, Violate Wallace remembers her son. Christopher is pretty much a deep dive into it. The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old. He had never seen that much at one time in his life. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy a blind love and loyalty. Moreover, Gene believed that his book, which contained the truth, was delayed due to racism. He encountered several legal issues while trying to get his book published. In contrast, the white FBI agent, Phil Carson, who also released his version of the truth, did not face similar obstacles.
He just came out. See, it's all right for them white boys, you understand, to do their 20 years and then come out with books.
As a result of his book, which recounted his version of the events, Gene lost his job. Additionally, he had to attend several court hearings to reclaim it.
The same shit. And I lost my job, and I went through 6 arbitration hearings to get it back.
It's baffling how Phil Carson is being lauded for saying the same thing that Gene repeatedly stated and suffered consequences for. Nevertheless, fans fully support Gene's consistent narrative and anticipate Puffy's downfall when a more influential figure enters the industry. I followed Gene's consistently told story. My opinions went from Puffy being negligent to it's a huge possibility that he truly knew or had something to do with Big's assassination. We have a right to know these things. Big was a public figure and we're the public. It's a well-known fact that COINTELPRO uses and protects entertainers like your Jay Z's and Puffys for sinister reasons against us. It's also a well-known fact that when the powers have used them up, the protection goes away. I predict that when someone else comes along, maybe younger with more influence, then Puffy will be held accountable.
Now, fam, y'all still rocking with Diddy? But that ain't all Diddy did. I ain't done with him yet. Yeah, Diddy also went to the FBI on Irv Gotti, Suge Knight, and Jay Prince. I don't know if y'all know this, but they were finna start a black distribution company that was gonna cut out the Jewish people out the music industry. Let's see what Gene said about that
So I gotta ask you, man, it's a hot topic right now. How do you feel about what's going on between Puffy and Mase?
Mase used to live with Puff. So Mase know all Puff's little dirty secrets. And he did business with Puff. Puff was the one who told Mase to stop speaking to people. Mase, when he got into the business, he was happy-go-lucky. Yo, he see people, he'll speak to them. Puff pulled him to the side and said, yo, stop speaking to people. Let them come to you. You understand? You will never be a star if you always speak to people before they speak to you. Let them notice you. You don't notice them. I looked at Mase, I'm like, man, you better not believe that dumb shit, boy. You know what I'm saying? Well, Puff was the one, who told Mase that. So by Mase and him going at it and they feuding with each other, it could turn out to be something real ugly. You know what I'm saying? Real ugly.
So it could get real ugly. Mase, he really do know a lot about Puffy.
Oh, a lot. Bro, they used to live together. You understand? Remember Cameron said he went in there and there was this big dildo and Mase was saying, that's Puffy's.
Now let me stop it right there. Now when Pimp C said, y'all know who got caught in the Range Rover with the boy, he was talking about Mase. Mase got caught down here in Atlanta with a training, but he supposed to be murder Mase. But let's get back into this.
Man, I don't know. Maybe that's that Hollywood shit, but I don't know any of my friends. I go to their house, I'm chilling, I walk in on a big dildo. I don't know, man.
Right. But another comment you made, on your platform, you said that everybody is about to see how powerful Puffy is. What you mean by that?
Bruh, out of all the award shows that you ever saw on television, and they was about to go to commercial, have you ever seen a patriot, an actor, or anybody, tell the people, no, we're not going to commercial. We're gonna keep rolling. I don't care what it costs. We're gonna keep rolling, and it's not his show. That wasn't Revolt. That was BET. Do you remember that happened?
Yeah, I don't know if you
remember. Oh, you remember that happened?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about. Now, he gets into a beef with Kanye, right? And then Kanye said, because see, you gotta realize they was friends. So they know each other's business. Kanye say, tell your Jewish friends, right? That had you give me a call, that I'm ready to go DEFCON. I don't care nothing about none of that.
Now people call Kanye crazy, but a lot of stuff Kanye was saying was absolutely true. You notice when he did all that, they went out to his school, they took all his endorsements and stuff. Kanye ain't crazy. Kanye just sick and tired of this stuff.
In the business. Now, by him doing that, what happened next? They audited his school. They about to trying to close Kanye's school, right? They take him off Twitter. They take him off Instagram. JP Morgan, one of the biggest banks, Chase, tell him we don't want your $1 billion business no more. Take it out. When I'm telling you that when you in, you in. Everybody thought that when he was sitting there with the guy who owns the Patriots and they was all hugged up and he was wearing his championship ring, that allegedly those people don't pray together. They pray together. Trust me, believe me.
Hey, what you mean by that? Go more into detail about that.
Bruh, do you see, you got to go back and you got to look at how people react, what they talk about, what they do, and the whole 9 yards. When a person like, I think his name, Robert Kraft or something like that, Robert Kraft, when he's like that with Puff hugged up, you understand,
And you see how his stuff went away. You know, they had him for the sexual exploitations that he was doing in the massage parlors and all like that. Now you don't hear nothing about it. That shit just went away. You understand what I'm saying? When Puff got friends like that don't mind hugging up and chilling with him and showing emotions with him out in public, bro, you gotta know it goes deeper in the rabbit hole than any of us could see.
Speaking of Kanye West, he made a comment on Drink Champs, and he said that Puffy was the feds. What you think about him saying that?
Well, when he talking about the feds, he could be saying that he's their ear. Puff is the one who goes back and he tells, like he did when Suge, when Jay Prince, when Irv Gotti, I think it was Irv Gotti could have been a part of that too. When they was all trying to get that distribution company together, he the one went back and told Jimmy Iovine them, and then him and Kirk Burroughs Kirk said he didn't know what he was doing. They took paperwork and they took some stuff up to the feds, you understand, regarding Death Row.
Now, I'm gonna play one more thing before I end this video, is how Diddy was happy Tupac died, basically.
When I did the interview with Kirk Burroughs, right, he told me a story about how when Tupac was in prison, he sent a letter to Bad Boy, letting them know when he get out, it was beef. Did you know about that?
I knew about the letter, but I didn't know about the content of it. You understand? See, you gotta realize, Pac had people like Jada Pinkett, Jasmine Guy, and it was somebody else. They was going around trying to collect money to get Pac out of jail. Nobody from Bad Boy gave up a dime. Nobody from Big Camp gave up a dime. But Big told me himself, yeah, man, I was broke. I ain't have no money. I'm like, yo, nigga, nobody tell you to do a show or something? You get the door? He didn't think about it. He didn't have any guidance on that.
So what got back to you when it came to the letter, even though you didn't know what the letter was about? But at that time, when Tupac sent the letter to Bad Boy, what word got back to you about the letter? Or did Puffy and Kirk Burroughs keep it under wraps? Just take me back, man, to real time when it came to that.
Let me just say, the work that I did, my computer, all I have to do is know a person's DIN number at the time.
Like G was an ex-probation officer, so that's what he's talking about with some of the work that he did.
You see the letters go out? Do you understand that? You don't see the content, you see the letters. You see the letters that come in. You see the visitors, the people who call, and the calling log. I had privilege to that information. You understand? So now, when I heard about the letter, I went to look at the law. Because anything that goes out, they keep a record of it. Anything that comes in, they keep a record of it. You can't see the content of it, but you know that it happened. So I knew it to be true when it came out.
As of late, Puffy, he been showing Tupac love on social media, man. Have you seen it? What you think about it?
Phony and bologna on a pickle sandwich. Want me to say it again? Huh? It's phonier than bologna on a pickle sandwich. Yes, he did idolize Tupac. We all knew that. We knew that about some of the speeches he said. He said the same shit that came out of Pac's mouth. But he didn't like him. If you ain't like that nigga in his life, how you gonna love him in his death? Oh, you glad to see the nigga dead now. All right, okay.
That's a very strong word to use, man. So you feel like Puffy, he idolized Tupac? And you really believe that?
Yeah, he idolized that dude. You gonna go and make it your business, I don't know, to Sleep with every chick that he slept with? Or maybe the chicks was just making the round. I don't know. But he made it his business to sleep with every chick that Pac was sleeping with. Pac was the first one that came out with that yellow and black Versace shirt. What Puff go do? I want that same shirt right there.
So you feel like Puffy getting with some of the same females that Tupac got with, like Sally Richardson and Sarah Chapman. You think he only got with them because Tupac had them. That's the only reason why he got with them.
It probably was inspired because they was fine, but it put a plus on it because Pac had them. It's a lot of fine women out here. You know what I'm saying? But I want the one that Pac had too.
Now, Puffy, we don't give a damn how many Versace shirts you get or how many Tupac speeches you done said that stole. We'll never respect you like Pac, bro. Because you was a phony. You was a snake and you was a phony. And I got to say, man, let me tell you, R.I.P. to Tupac, R.I.P. to Biggie, and Puffy, you gonna get what you sold, bro. Because you done messed over a whole bunch of people. I want y'all to leave in the comments what y'all think. I lay down the evidence. What's the problem? Y'all still rocking with Diddy? Now, everybody been saying the same thing for 20 years about Diddy. What's the problem?